Hell was made for the devil.
Mm-hmm.
Hell was made for the devil and his angels. He's not sending any of his creations like us. He lets us work it out over the time while we're learning to want.
Why we're learning
That's the
to want.
simplicity. My mother,
Learning to
in the
want.
hospital,
Why? We
out
are learning
in
to want.
Canby, Oregon. She's at the old folks hospital out there, and my stepdad comes to visit her at 3 o'clock. Or no, has to leave at 3. He comes to visit her. He lives in Milwaukee, where I found the treasure thing. And yeah, the Indian
That's right.
artifact that
That's
came into
right.
my life. But anyway, he comes and my mother is in the old folks' home because she can't control any functions, body functions anymore, but she's sharp as a tack and still feels healthy. So when she comes, she says, "Oh, Richard," she says, "I'm crossing over in another hour and 35 minutes. This is the last time you'll see me. I'm going to cross over."
This is going on YouTube, so.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to cross over, and Richard, I wanted you to know it, that this is the last time you're going to see me, because at 3:35, I go across over. He says, "How come 3:35? She says, "Well, as the world turns is in its last episode, and I know what it is all about. I've got it figured out as the world turns." So good old mother, her and the nurse were going to watch as soon as he cleared out. He has to leave at 3.
Amen.
The whole thing is over at 3. So what's happening now is stepdaddy has 35 minutes to drive back to the house, which then the nurse will phone and say that I've passed the cross. So anyway, what's happening now is that, yeah, there's some more here.
I'm going to clean the screen.
Oh, well, I just put a new screen in there, I'm
There you
pretty
go.
sure. Let me check it. It needs just rub the screen. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, here we go. Okay.
So anyway, mother is getting ready to cross over, but they watch the program after the stepdad leaves. They watch the program, and sure enough, she had it all figured out, so they had a good laugh. Then she asks the nurse to turn off the TV, and she sits back, puts another pillow behind mother's back. She's looking straight down at the foot of the bed, and all of a sudden, at about 32 minutes, her eyes get big. A big smile comes on her face, and she takes a humongous breath, and as she lets it out, she crosses right over so peaceably with a big smile still on her face to the other side. Mother's still over there. She hasn't wanted to come back yet, but she's enjoying the tranquility of the other side. And because then you realize all the other lifetimes you've taken, you realize that if you want to come back, you can come back. Or if you want to stay on that side, you can stay on that side.
What
So-
was that?
That's just part of the noises that you will hear around me once in a while.
Your past life. This is going to be a #1 hit on YouTube. This is going to be a #1 hit on your past lives.
Well,
How do you get? What it's about?
right.
What's your past life about?
so
That's good.
if anybody needs
and we're going to make money.
to experience, if you would like to experience a copy of Enlightenment, please send $25 in a money order made out to Church of the Helping Hand.
Okay, I'll get all that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Zippity-doo to the Portland address. We can put this in later. But anyway, as the Enlightenment is going, now my mother has crossed over. She's done it so peaceably. This is what it's meant to be when you understand that you must be born
I'm
again
shaking.
and again and
I'm
again
just
and again and
shaking.
again.
Uh,
It's brain food. It's the truth.
And I've already
it's
known.
logic.
I already knew that my
Yeah.
past life. I mean,
So I almost didn't come over today, but Sky Guy said you will meet someone who needs to be part of the happening. What is the happening? The happening will happen the last week of July, the next 3 weeks of August. Last week of July, next 3 weeks of August.
What's happening?
For 30 days, the happening will be on the mountain top parking lot. You need to get a hold of Crystal Geyser. Crystal Geyser in Sausalito, California. I have an address for you that we will put in later.
Yeah, I'm shaking right now.
So, Crystal Geyser is going to sponsor us on top of the mountain for 30 days and make sure that all our passes and everything is all put together. And for this you will receive an enlightenment DVD that you can play and understand how the miracles work in your car, how they work in all the spiritualness, because the vibration in your body that you are feeling is the resonance of the deity.
Amen.
So, what you need to do now is to simply understand that while the Indian shaman was walking around the famous mountain, he came upon a little gray man, a gray skin of color, who was pinned against a rock by a tree log that had rolled up against him.
I'm listening.
The giant, big, strong Indian pulled the little log away from him. And then, as the little man was freed, the Indian shaman noticed that he was wearing a certain thing around his neck. And that thing was an artifact that you will see, that when you talk about something, I either have it in my vehicle or I have it on me. This is the Indian artifact dug up in the 80s. It was brown like the string. It's very heavy.
Is it gold? It is gold.
There is gold and meteorite in it. It's made by this little figure from outer space who is a space traveler and a time traveler. When you draw around this inside, you see the ship, the time ship here. This is Pluto Cave over here across Highway 97. This is under the ice flow, or the
Can I
ice...
go to them places?
Pardon?
Can I go to them places?
Oh, you will be. You're part of the Mount Shasta happening.
Okay.
That's why I'm here today.
Well, great. That's good. Okay, so that's all
So
I know.
anyway,
Don't leave
okay.
me behind.
So
Don't leave
anyway,
me behind.
this is the Indian artifact that was given because the Indian followed him into the cave.
Mm-hmm.
Need these papers moved so I can get you some glass here. Okay. The Indian followed him into the fifth cave under the ice, whatever you call those big ice packs on mountains. Glaciers. Okay, under the glacier. And he took the Indian and set him down on a rock inside, because inside was this huge ship floating 4 feet off the ground with a little ramp coming down out of it. So he sets the Indian, first he places this thing off his neck, the ET. And all of a sudden, it makes computer sounds, and the wall pivots. And inside this huge cave is this unit here.
Listen.
Okay?
Listen.
Now, this is the map of Mount Shasta. This is skull and crossbones on this end, because on the south end, the caves usually are in the shale and can chop you to bits if you try to get in those caves. These are 2 dead ends. One of them talked about by a young couple from Los Angeles who went to the place and found a group of 12 men in robes in a special compartment, all lit by just the presence of the people in there. And they were told it's not allowed. This is the cave. Method of transportation 270 years ago was afoot. Okay? So you walk into the cave. Now, the little guy disappears. He sets the Indian down on a rock, disappears up inside the machine, comes back out. He's got 2 things in his hands. One is about the size of a lifesaver package that was round, and the other a lifesaver package that was square. He took this off of his neck. He placed it down into the sand, pushed it down in the sand, and he took the square one. And when he had the square one, You need to draw around the whole thing inside and out.
So, you know, this,
When he took the square one and hit it, it made an imprint in the sand that made the form, or what do you call it?
form, the template, the like the mold, the mold.
Mold,
Yeah, the mold. It happens to all of us.
Mold is that fuzz on the strawberries when they've been there too long. So anyway, if you turn the flat side over,
There we go. I know, hang on.
okay, just draw around all the ends, and then I will explain the map of Shasta to you and why that thing. So anyway,
My hands hurt.
after he makes the mold, then he takes and asks the Indian for his little pebbles of gold and meteorite, and he places them in the mold, and the red one, a light comes out of the round one in his hand and sizzles and cooks it all into the shape you got right here. Now, a lot of people look at it and say, "You sure this wasn't made yesterday?" I said, "Hey, we had to
No
weld
way.
the top of it where it hung off the shaman's neck for years." And you can see how it's worn by swinging back and forth on the leather and whatnot.
It looks like stupid.
So, and then draw the inside too.
Oh, right. That's what happens. We need a little
Yeah.
happy. 'Cause I'm happy. I'm a happy person. I try to, you know, and I
Well, you know, this is
love.
exciting because it's
It's
supposed
super
to
exciting.
happen this
super
year.
exciting.
It's supposed to be.
my hands are always freezing. Right now, they're on fire.
Yeah.
My hands are just on fire. I don't know if I'm getting healed, but I hope my hands are getting healed.
Yeah.
Man, my hands have been so bad. I mean, just I can't even close them.
Yeah.
But I work. I can't stop working because that's what I have to do. So anyway, okay, let's do the inside first. Let's go backwards. Okay, let's go.
Oh no! You got enough here to do the thing. It's,
Okay, I thought you said inside and out.
Yeah, you did the inside here with
Oh.
us, and the inside of this here. So what we do is we simply take. Anyway, this is represents the skull and crossbones. Okay,
Okay.
that means that this is the south end of Mount Shasta. This is the north end. Mount Shasta is kind of like a big football. Okay. This is saying that down here on the north end, under the ice croppings and stuff, is this fifth cave here. Okay. This is Pluto Cave. This is across Highway 97. I can take people down there. I sent people there before.
Why did I draw it backwards?
But anyway,
Why did I draw it
yeah.
backwards? Why?
But anyway, this is, well, if you turn it over like this and put it on a light, it would have the same thing. But anyway,
Right.
this cave is the fifth cave up here.
But it's like it's a.
But this one here, yeah,
We're confusing people by the map. It would be opposite instead of what I.
this is the ship here floating in this big cave,
Okay.
an anti-gravity thing. Okay,
And we can go
so this is they want to go around the mountain into the cave and use this thing to make the sounds, which it does. But you can see where it laid in a mold and then it was cooked right on. But we had a nice person break this, and it had just went like this for hundreds of years in the different shaman, because it's 270 some years old.
Wow! Wow!
And the
We can
chance
still
of
touch
finding
it?
that, okay, first I lost it once. It came back to me. Second, it was stolen. Everything the guy did, no matter what he did, everything he did was so stupid that he brought it back and said, "My God, I've never had bad luck come to me that often."
7
You
years
know.
old.
So
We're going to the